Welcome back, everybody, to the Psychonaut FX channel. I wanted to do this video today because finally, after a few years of hard work and challenge, discipline, focus, consistency, I was able to get my first official, and I'll consider this my official funded account with a prop firm. I have been funded before in the past, and I'll catch you up, tell you a little bit about my experience over the last few years. But I was scammed recently by a broker or a prop firm. Maybe not necessarily the broker, but the prop firm scammed me. And this time around, it took me over 2 months. And I'm just gonna walk you through the process. So before I start showing you the analytics of the account and another challenge account that I'm working on, I'll tell you that I've been a day trader since 2017 or 2017 is when I started day trading. I started off trading futures, wasn't even trading Forex at the time. Eventually, that same year, I had funded an account, lost the account, and a lot has went on that year, 2017. But eventually, I had paid one of my friends to teach me Forex. And since then, it was history. I fell in love with it. I started funding small accounts, $200-300 accounts, $400 accounts, ended up blowing them naturally, just like every beginner trader does. That is the reps that you have to put in. But I didn't really give up. But in 2018 into 2019, I did kind of ease up with my ambition to trade. However, I knew that I had to work out a plan to get the funding. So I spent most of 2018 teaching myself corporate marketing so I could land consistent income to be able to basically leverage my credit funding to then fund my trading account. That's how bad I wanted to trade professionally. And it worked out. I landed multiple corporate marketing gigs in 2019, and the whole year of 2019 into 2020, I spent working on my credit so that way I could leverage it for business funding. Anyway, long story short, I was able to do that. I was able to basically fund my businesses with my credit back in 2020. And then eventually I had enough money to trade with. So I funded a big account then for like $15,000, and it was working out. I was taking signals at the time. I was also taking my own trade setups, and but I don't know what happened. I had everything that I needed. I just wasn't consistent enough. To be honest, I was being very impatient. I was being very lazy. I wanted to skip the process of becoming a consistent day trader and just let AI do it for me. And so lo and behold, I ended up figuring out how to code algorithms or AI bots to be able to trade my money in the Forex market. So I did that most of 2020 and throughout 2021. And 2021, I came up drastically. I grossed $250,000 that year, and with automated foreign exchange. In addition, because that was the year that was COVID. That was the year that multiple stimulus packages were funded from the federal government. The economy was thriving, or at least the digital economy was thriving. I'll say that. And so I was able to take advantage of it. I had multiple streams of income, 8, 9, 10 streams of income during that year, all through digital currency, whether it was long-term holdings for crypto assets, the automated trading bots, crypto arbitrage trading bots. I had a lot of stuff going on. So 2021 was the year that really showed me the potential of what digital currency could really do for me in my life. You know what I mean? To my own definition, I hit success, and I thought it would last forever. And I always joke and I tell people, just as quick as God could give you something, is as quick as he could take it away. And I needed to go through all that to be able to then, in the next few months of 2021 into 2022, lose 90% of my portfolio. So beginning of last year, even though it feels like a decade ago, beginning of last year, I lost 90 to 95% of my liquid capital. The automated trading companies that I had invested into had went Ponzi. They stopped allowing me to withdraw my money. I had 60, 70,000 spread across 3 accounts with this one broker. And then I had a few other small accounts that were crypto arbitrage, a couple crypto arbitrage, and pretty much that was the bulk of my investments, which was obviously a mistake. I know that now looking back. Should never risk more than 20% of total liquid assets into high risk investments, my people. All right. And that's what I was telling everybody, but that's not what I was doing because I was yielding $10,000, $15,000 a month from it. Right. Anyways, I ended up losing all my money. Just like same old story, just like every other trader does. You know what I mean? I didn't cry boo-hoo, but I knew that if I wanted to heal from the loss that I had took, which was over $100,000, I needed to take a step back. And I had just been trading for 4 or 5 years, and I needed to pull back because if not, I would have drove myself into the grave, But honestly, when you have a dream and it's a vision that you can only see, that's what you do. You take the risk, right? I had just miscalculated and over risked and over leveraged, right? We all do it sometimes. So most of 2022, I spent it grieving. I spent it healing from what I needed to heal and psychologically moving past the idea that my net worth had just decreased by 90%. I had to figure out other methods of making money. I had to continue to run other businesses that I didn't necessarily want to run, but were making me money. And that's what you have to do ultimately, right? So over the past 6 months, however, into 2023, I had decided that I wanted to trade again. Or actually, excuse me, end of last year, I had decided that I wanted to trade again. And the way that I wanted to do that was getting a funded account. And I had known about funded accounts. I've been taking I've been trading or trying to pass prop firms for over 3 years. Back in 2021, I was using automated trading robots to pass FTMO accounts, and it worked. I wasn't able to keep or pass it fully the second phase of the accounts because I just wasn't consistent enough. I had so much money being made from the other bots that it was just, I wasn't able to fully give my attention to it, but it was working. Nonetheless, end of last year, I decided to invest in a bot that was passing a challenge. Long story short, the bot passed the challenge. I got the funded account, so to speak. I was trading the funded account for over 2 months, made like $2,000 on the account, and it was an 80-20 profit split. So I had a good 15, or was it, I don't know, 13, 1,400 coming my way. Turns out that my friend, the month of December, made $40,000 with his 500K account that he had funded from the same company, quote unquote. And I hit him up a couple months later, like, hey, like, is this company paying out? And he was like, dude, I've been waiting for a $30,000 withdrawal since December. And so I knew from that point forward that this broker had scammed me, And it's even worse now. There's so much going on with regulation and prop firms popping up every other day. You just have to really be careful. Nonetheless, though, I say all that to say that, for the past 6 months, I made a commitment. I had took only one other challenge this year, and it was with Top Tier Trader. The reason why I didn't pass that, and I wasn't losing the challenge, but the only rule that I broke was that it took me too long. So during that time, because only just until a few months ago, FTMO finally took away the maximum trading days on both phases. I had 40 days to pass the challenge. I was up 6%. 6-7% on my $50,000 account, and they basically said, oh, like, you broke a rule. You either have to pay for the extension or you buy a new challenge. And I was just, at the time I was bitter because I'm just like, why do I need to pay for an extension if I didn't break any rules? You know, I don't think it ever really made sense to me to put a time limit on phase one that's less. Or the prop firm industry never made sense to me that way, because they give you 30 days before. They don't have it anymore, thank God. But they gave you 30 days to make 10% and then 60 days to make 5%. That never made sense to me. Never. If anything, it should be the other way around. 60 days to make 10%, 30 days to make 5%. That makes logically more sense. So whoever made up that rule, I'm glad that they decided to flush it down the toilet. A few months ago, I was messaging Top Tier, and I was talking mad shit because FTMO had just took away their time limits, because I'm sure probably they recognized the data and analytics that maybe more people would be inclined to pass the challenge if they removed the time limit. Duh, of course they will. Why? Because some strategies take longer than others, and you're forcing people's psychology to do other things. You know, if you put them in a box, trading is you have to think longevity, right? So nonetheless, all that goody stuff, I'll go over to the dashboard of Top Tier. I was talking mad shit to Top Tier, and I was like, basically, how can you consider yourself to be even in comparison with FTMO as a industry titan if you don't remove this if you don't remove this time limit? No lie, the same day I get an email, they do a full email blast. Oh yeah, we took away the time limit, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, maybe it wasn't for me, but I was definitely an influence in their support system. All right, so nonetheless, I'm gonna bring you into the back end of the account, and I'm basically gonna show you. Obviously, I passed the first challenge. I made a video about it the first time, but it's been over 2 months. It's been over 2 months, and I'm gonna show you my FTMO account as well. But this is it. This was the analytics, and I'll tell you the story about this is that you can see right here my win rate is 46%. This challenge was difficult, you know what I mean? The first week I actually had made 4%, 3.75%. I was close to beating this in like the first week, no lie. After the first week, you can see what happened. I just went downhill. I actually went on a 2-week losing streak, and I was surprised that I even survived it. And to be honest, up until the last week, you can see here, my account dropped 1% below the starting account balance, which it had never done, You can see throughout the whole the month of August, I kept this account sturdy. However, moving into September, I had like a really strong losing 2 weeks here in between this period. It was like middle or late August to like middle September, or like beginning of September. And my account balance on the 19th dropped below 1% of my initial starting balance, which was new to me. To be honest, psychologically, I was ready to give up. I wasn't exhausted, but I just had spent 6 months with positive, consistent results across live accounts, flipping small accounts, challenges, stuff like that. But those 2 weeks that I had a losing streak in the moment was difficult, and I was ready to quit. However, when I go back and look at the trades, I think to myself, why was I fretting? Because yeah, you may have had 5 losing days in a row, or 5 losing trades in a row, but there were times where I had 10 days straight, or almost 9 trades straight of profit. So it's a good idea sometimes to have an analytical tool, so that way you can zoom out, look at the data, and remind yourself that if you haven't broken a rule, you're not losing. You're still in it, but you got to keep your head straight, So up until that last week, I had decided on both of my accounts that I was going to up the lot size. And that week I had taken, I think, 10 trades, and I hit for 6 or 7 of them profits. But my risk to reward, in addition to my increased lot size, was what, in the 1 week, literally, I passed the challenge. So I was just like, I remember the night of that I knew I was gonna pass it. I had a gold trade. It was this trade right here. This was the trade, this $260 trade. I was doing the math in my head to figure out like what I needed to do, like how much I needed to make, and I was looking at the back end like, damn, like, yo, I could beat this challenge like this week. You know what I mean? And you can see, of course, I took some losses. I took some unnecessary losses on US 30. I shouldn't even be trading US 30. It's not in my trading plan anymore, at least for these accounts. But sometimes I break my rules, right? Nonetheless, though, I pretty much stayed sturdy with my trading plan. And these last 3 hits with gold, JP, GJ, and gold again really just took me over the top. And I remember I was sitting down on my couch, and I was just like, my leg is just shaking. I'm sweating the whole time. And I'm like, damn, am I gonna pass this challenge tonight? And I was just trying to let go and detach from all the things that I was feeling, because at 4 days ago, I was ready to give it all up. So at this point, I'm just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just continue to trade. You know what I mean? So nonetheless, I ended up passing the challenge, and I am officially a top tier funded trader. It's a success, no matter even if it's a $25,000 account or $200,000 account. It's a success because, one, I proved myself to be a profitably and consistent trader over the last 7, 8 months now. Secondly, I earned this account. Being that I earned this account, it's my official funded account from a broker that has a good history of paying out, right? So far, at least. Lastly, it just puts me in a different kind of perspective now that I'm able to achieve this, because now the floodgates are open. So I'm gonna go over to FTMO, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pause this so that way I can log into my client area. But I'm gonna show you that in my client area, I am, and this is why you need to not listen to those Instagram gurus, man. Like, some of them are good, man, but some of them are just a joke, to be honest. Like, Instagram is a blessing and a curse. I always say that, because it's a powerful tool for you to be able to see what people are doing. Some people finesse this market, you know what I mean? Some people really do finesse. But you got to understand that, lastly, the last point that I was going to make is that 80% of traders fail. 80% of traders fail these challenges. 80 to 90% of traders fail these challenges, let alone fail trading alone, you know? So the fact that I was able to prove to myself, that's who I'm up against, myself. Nobody else. I'm not comparing myself to these Instagram traders. That's why I was so blessed when I found out FTMO and other prop firms took the time limit away, because I knew that that's what ultimately was going to restrict me, because I'm 60 days into this challenge and I still haven't passed phase 1. But guess what? I'm up 8%. I'm not fretting. Look at my stats. My stats are nuts. I'm 94% consistent, right? It says it's been 37 trading days, but really it's been like, I've been taking this trade. I'll show you the first trade. I started this challenge July 19th. Yeah, July 20th. So even though it may have been 37, 38 trading days, it's really been over 2 months in time. So think about the patience that it takes. I still haven't completed it, But the thing is, I'm not in a rush because I don't have any time limit. You know, my strategy works because I'm using 0.05%. I'm risking 0.05%. Or I was throughout the majority of the time. This week or the weeks following, I'm going to be increasing my risk to 1%, a little over 0.05%. But you can see here, the last week was great. I won 4 days in a row, and there were some pretty big winners. But before then, I was on a losing streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-day losing streak. Even before then, the week prior, I had a negative week. You see that. And I don't care what the analytics says. The analytics are great. All I know is that you could be successful with a 30% win to loss ratio. You know what I mean? I have a 65% win rate on this thing. I'm not tripping. So my goal is by the end of the year to have at least 100. Well, I have the 25,000. I'm going to finish this $50,000 account. And then by the end of the year, my goal is to have at least another 100, 200,000, which is cool because that's the power of OTP, other people's money, or other people, OPM, other people's money. But generally, it's leverage. And we're a few days away from a government or federal government shutdown, whatever that means here in the United States. It's going to be interesting to see how the economy reacts or how the markets react. And I'm going to have everything that I need to be able to take advantage of it because I have a skill that's recession proof. And now I have the capital to be able to execute with this skill. So I just wanted to give life to the dreamers, tell y'all to stay consistent, stay disciplined, stay motivated, stay calm, relaxed. Have to work on your psychology, whether it's yoga, meditation, psychedelics, whatever it is you need to do to be able to advance yourself psychologically, you need to do because it's going to reflect itself on the charts. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.